Alright, first one from Larry. Purchased my first .co.uk domain in mid-July from Namecheap, where I usually get domains. However, this time I got an email from a email that apparently oversees domains from the UK. We contacted you on July 30th to advise you've been unable to validate the registrant details in your domain name. Unfortunately, we have not received the necessary information from you, and your domain name has now been suspended. Your domain name will remain suspended until we are able to validate your registrant details. If it's not possible to validate your registrant details, your domain name is at risk of cancellation. Rest of the information with my address. I've gotten those emails before, and they never said they were going to suspend my domain. They just said to validate, and I didn't, and I never had any type of thing happen. I don't know why they send them. I don't know why they said they would suspend it, but you might want to talk to Namecheap about that. I'm not familiar with .co.uk domains. But yeah, I would definitely talk to Namecheap about that. Alright, from Thomas, in your Southern Laps Lounge example, what type of power trust did the 45 links have? Did you cloak the links after? I don't think there was 45 links for that. That's an old example. Is that even still ranking? I don't even know if I still have those PBNs that are powering that. That was an old client. Yeah, they're still number 3, and there's their video at number 4. I mean, we haven't touched this site in over a year at least, and I actually think that the PBNs powering this are gone, from what I remember. But yeah, I mean, I think I just used like 5 PBNs when I did that. I don't think I did 45 links. Type of power, I don't remember. Power trust, I would say around, DA25 trust 20, I would guess, which is like my average. Alright, when looking at links for expired domains in your video about spam versus natural links was the example of the site that generally looked good, but had just a few anchors about Viagra, which you said was spam. Besides Viagra seller owning the site themselves and sending Viagra links to it, is there any other reason why the site may have those links, or is this the only reason? Yeah, probably someone just tried to spam it, negative SEO it. That's most likely the reason for that. But again, a few of those I'm usually not worried about. But if it's, if there's too much, I won't deal with it. What do you think of drop domains, and would you ever use those for your PBNs? I mean, they're fine. The metrics are good, and the history's still fine. They can be good. But again, my preference is usually auction domains. I think they, they have more long-term stability. They're more powerful. Takes less links. It can just cause a lot less problems. When looking for expired domains, if you find ones that have been clearly reused for another purpose, for example, it was originally a site about health, then it was repurposed as a site about dogs, looking at all the way back machine and links. If all the other metrics and links check out and the site doesn't look otherwise spammy, is it still okay to buy the site, or would you avoid it just because it has already been used for a different purpose other than the originally intended? Yeah, usually I'll skip those, Steve. There might be a seldom case where I'll try it out if the newly built site looked really legit. But a lot of times you'll see it's just kind of built on like the basic simple WordPress themes, and it's just someone using for SEO purposes. So if I see that, I usually won't take the chance, because there's just so many sites out there that you can get clean. How many sites can I link to from one PBN still be safe? Check out the FAQ webinar with Cotton. August 19th, I believe it was. It's in Cotton section. We go into that in detail. Right, how many PBN links can you build in a day? I heard you say in one of the videos that 4 to 5 links a day wouldn't matter, but what do we need to be careful about when building links daily other than over optimization? That just wouldn't overkill. Like I probably wouldn't do like, hundreds of links in one day and then no links at all after that. But I mean, 5 links in a day is not, I don't think that's ever going to cause any type of problem, just because that can very easily naturally happen. I mean, even 100 links in a day could naturally happen, but I think that's something they could put a flag on. I don't know. I've never tested it, but it could work. Maybe I will test it. Maybe I am testing it, kind of. But yeah, 45 links. I mean, that's, you get some type of advertisement out there or a commercial, anything like that. You can easily pick up 45 links in a day, then just none after that. I mean, because you have more exposure for that day, so you might get a few links. So I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with building that many links, even every day. That's natural. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I'll let you know about. I got some stuff going right now where I'm building a couple hundred links in a day, powerful links, somewhat powerful links, and I'll see how it responds, and I'll get back to you guys on that. But I know 4 to 5 in a day, like just if you need 5 links for a site to rank, and you do them all in one day, you're not gonna have a problem with that. I've got a few local clients and things are going well. I've been going through all your training a few times, so I feel I've got a good grasp on what I'm doing. However, I still have an underlying fear worry in the back of my mind in case I do anything that causes the client site to get penalized. If it was just my affiliate sites, I wouldn't be as worried. As far as I can tell, the main things that would cause the client site to get a penalty would be over-optimization of anchor text or linking to a site from penalized PBN. So as long as we know our PBNs are good and we are following your linking procedure, is there anything else we need to be really careful of? If one of our PBNs that is linking to a client site gets the index, would that determine if this would or wouldn't affect the client site? What would determine? Please, can you run through the steps to ensure as much as possible a client site won't get penalized? Yeah, I mean, first what I would do is make sure you have their social properties set up. Make sure they got Facebook, Twitter, whatever else you can add. And start linking to those first. That's going to build the trust of the site. You can even do stuff like block commenting. Just do the penalty checks on the sites you're commenting on. I mean, you can do press releases. You can do stuff like that before you start sending PBNs directly to the money site. Like, send PBNs directly to the Web 2.0s and stuff like that first. Build up the trust of the site. The more trust the site has, the less likely it is to be penalized. Like, if you go to, let's do an example here. So let's go search for like Nashville plumbers, right? So Hiller Plumbing is number 1. They probably have a decent amount of links, right? Whoops, wrong tool. Yeah, so they got 2,600 links from 128 referring to me. That's a lot of links, okay? So they got some trust going here. And by trust, I'm not talking about this number. I'm not talking about trust low. I'm talking about how much Google trusts this site. Now, if I go and I send, let's bring up negative SEO to bring this point across. If I was a competitor and I wanted to just like get these guys out of here, if I go and send 5 penalized sites to this, it's probably not going to cause a penalty because they already got so much trust, and Google just has to consider that in their algorithm. Whereas if you go to, we go to like back here, let's go to like page 15, and you pick out something like, I'm trying to find like a natural site here. So maybe like these guys here, maybe they don't have any links yet, right? If you send 5 penalized sites to this, they say they had no links. Let's go see if they might have links, but I just want to check. Yes, they don't have any links yet. This right here. Let's see if their home page does. 15. So they do have 15 referring domains going to the home page. So 5 may or may not penalize this. Depends on the quality of those links. So you know the first site, they're already ranked #1. They already have a lot of trust going to their site. Obviously, as Google's ranking #1, so it's going to take a lot more to penalize that site. Whereas a site like this, 5 penalized PBNs going to it, I would say it would probably drop this site. It would probably penalize it. It would screw it. Whereas if you got a brand new site, you know, if I go register NashvillePlumbers.com, it's brand new, has no links. If you send 1 penalized PBN to that site is screwed. That site is not going to rank. It's going to get a penalty because it has no trust, and then the first link to it is a penalized site. And when you think about it, why would a competitor negative SEO a brand new site that's not ranking? You get what I'm saying? Now, a site that's ranking that already has trust, it has a reason to be negative SEO'd, so it can withstand a lot more negative SEO or a lot more penalty type stuff. You know, this type of stuff you're worried about doing. Whereas a brand new site, you know, you register it brand new, it's not ranking anywhere. The first link onto it's a penalized site. Well, who would negative SEO that? It's no one's worried about that site. No one's going to send that except the person who made the site. You know, the person who's trying to do SEO to get to the top. So if that happens to a brand new site, it's going, it's done. That's it. So the more trust you can build to a site before you start sending PBN and stuff directly, the more safe you're going to be. And that's why we teach in the Iowa City SEO example, how we teach trying to get this window out of here. Sorry, you guys can't see this window, it's in my way. That's why in the Iowa City SEO series we teach to link to the Web 2.0 properties. You know, we got our site #1, YouTube #2, Facebook 3, Yelp 4, Mana 5. And here's an OMG or 6, and our Twitter's #7. Not only can you rank these social properties and get multiple listings, but also it puts a layer in between those PBNs going to your money site. Like, you know, we have a lot of properties out there where PBNs going to them have been penalized, but it hasn't affected the money site or those properties because they're high DA, like this right here. Actually, you know, two of the 3 PBNs I used for this project are de-indexed. I forget what I think it was like a hosting problem. I had them on .easy or something, which ended up being a big footprint. But 2 of the 3 PBNs I used for this project are gone. They're de-indexed. Yet we're still ranking. And this happened many months ago. Now, if those 3 PBNs were going directly to the money site, guess what? These wouldn't be ranking because they don't have any links going to them. And then this probably would have got penalized. So that's one of the reasons we teach that is for people who want to be really safe with client stuff. And then also for beginners who might make mistakes. Even, you know, myself, I didn't really make a mistake. It's just I ended up having bad luck where it was a shared host that had footprints. You know, because it was kind of when we started doing shared hosting. And you know, 2 PBNs got taken out. It wasn't really my fault, but that type of stuff happens. And luckily I had that layered where they were going to these Web 2.0 properties first. And because of that, nothing happened with this. Whereas if they were going directly to the money site, it would have hurt it. How do I connect the PBN to my site, which is in WordPress, or is it in a video of yours? Sorry, I just can't figure it out. How do you connect the PBN to your site? You link it to your WordPress site, Lance. But if you're asking that question, I'm worried about you actually doing that because there's a lot of mistakes you can make. There's a lot more you need to learn before you actually do that linking, like proper footprints and all that, and proper way to set everything up. Make sure you have everything set up correctly. So I'd make sure you go back through all the supremacy videos. And also check out the FAQ webinar that Cotton did, that we did with Cotton on the 19th, and then also the webinar he did previous to that, which was the 12th, August 12th. How are you doing? Hope all is well. I was wondering, are blog comments as powerful as PBNs? I mean, they can be, Carl. The problem with block comments is usually you're not going to get money keyword anchor text with block comments. Usually they're just going to get denied. So a lot of time block commenting, it can be used for expanding your anchor text and then also natural links. Like really, like, you can comment on really relevant sites. That can really help. So that's what I like using block commenting for. And we've been testing more and more with that. Having a lot of trouble ranking a client Yelp page. I've been setting links since February, but only really ramping it up in the last few weeks. Began showing up on page 1 months ago, but now is nowhere to be found. Did not over-optimize and kept everything within the recommended techniques. Google does show a competitor Yelp page and results. Type Yelp page. Have you ever had trouble ranking a Yelp? Does Google prefer to only show one company? I mean, yeah, I've had trouble ranking many different types of things before, and it can be all different types of issues. It depends on many factors that I don't know about. But if you're sending a whole bunch of links in the last few weeks, I would just give it time, because a lot of times you'll send. When I do that, it's something like, especially like a Yelp, like a Web 2.0, it seems do this more. Like any type of high VA property, it's almost like Google knows that people are taking advantage of that. It's almost like they test you and they let it disappear and see if you'll go crazy with it. So I would give that time. I wouldn't worry too much about it yet. It should pop back up as long as there's nothing else going on. I've used 40 PBNs for a client. How many other clients can I use this network for? Can I just use those PBNs for other clients? I have citations, press release, and some profile links. Again, see the FAQ webinar for in-detail response to that. All right, from Kurt here, have a new client site within e-commerce. They recently added SSL to the site, but if I type in the non-HTTPS version of their domain into the address bar, it takes me to a non-HTTPS version. So for the HTTP and HTTPS, actually two different sites. I assume I need to redirect the non-HTTP version to the, yeah. I think you need to redirect it, Kurt. I'm not technical, so I don't know the exact way that would be done. If it were me, I'd probably just go install simple redirects and just redirect it that way. You just put in the HTTP version, have a redirect to the HTTPS version. But I don't know how the inner URLs are set up. Like it's doing that with when you're like on the inner URLs as well. If it's doing that, that's probably a bigger problem that I wouldn't know how to fix. All right, would it hurt your site if you send links through an indexing service multiple times? The reason for sending them again is because they have not been indexed after the first try. Personally, I wouldn't do that, David. The only time I really send anything through an indexing service is if it's like spammy type links, and that's just when I'm testing stuff. If you're building quality links, they're going to get indexed. Okay, don't worry about Google find them. They're going to find them, and they're going to kind of do what they want with them when they want. They've slowed it down lately. Indexing has been slower. Links have been slower. Everything's been slower. It's like they're slowing down everything, which is smart on their part, because then it makes it tougher to analyze and it makes people frustrated. But that's just part of what's going on. Just give it time, be patient, and if you already sent them through once, I definitely wouldn't do it again. Not saying it would hurt it, but just let them find them naturally. Most types of links. Do you use Spider Spanker on all your PBNs? If so, are you worried about leaving a footprint? I use it on most. I'm not worried about footprint. Use DAS or just PBNs? Mostly just PBNs. I mean, my DAS is basically what I show in Iowa City SEO, which is basically just linking to Web 2.0 properties. With links taking so long to kick in, are there other ways to figure out if what you're doing is working? Just time and patience, Jeff. I mean, again, in a way, it's going to benefit us because it's for people that don't know what's going on, have no idea what's going on. It's extremely frustrating. I mean, even with when you have a community like ours, you know, we're ahead of the curve with knowing what's going on. It can still be frustrating for people. So just imagine people who are not in the know at all, or just like the regular type SEO people. It's going to start cutting people out, which is great. So just be patient. You know, what we're doing is still working. We keep up with that. So just let us worry about figuring out what's working, and just kind of follow that and just be patient with it. All right, can I use press releases with branded anchor text to dilute the anchor text ratio for main keyword? How useful would it be? Yeah, you can do that. How useful it would be depends on the situation you got going on. For sure, for some stuff it'll be very useful. For some stuff it wouldn't help at all. So it just depends what the site you're using it for has going on. I know that PBNs need to be on separate hosts, but what about your money sites? Can these all be on one host? They can run, but then when you're sending PBNs to them, if you're going to be using a PBN for multiple money sites, you got to be careful with that because, you know, if you got, for example, PBN1, right? And then PB1 links to, you know, money site 1, money site 2, and money site 3. And these are all on the same host, especially on the same IP. That's going to hurt you. So if you're hosting your money sites on the same host, even if these were on like something where you could change the IP like host 9, it's still, you have 3 links going out to the same host, which, remember, Google's based on probability. What's the probability of that happening? I don't personally know that, but that's something that could trigger some type of penalty or some type of footprint. So if you're using money sites on the same host, just be careful if you're linked to them from the same PBN, because that can cause problems. Using press releases announcing real newsworthy stuff, good. What anchor text would you use? I would always use branded anchor text with a press release. Is there a problem with using small hosting companies like webhostingtalk.com? I don't know how small they are, but yeah, I mean, if there's I just use regular hosting companies, guys. Just like I answered in the FAQ webinar. Make sure you guys watch that webinar. List of hosting companies. I want to blend in. I go through this all in the webinar. Okay. These are a lot of the hosts that I use right here. And again, I go into detail in that webinar on what you need to look for, what you need to do. Is there a footprint problem with using the same set of plugins for all PBNs? Do you mix up your plugins? I do mix it up, David, just to be safe. Like, I'll install random plugins sometimes, but typically I don't find problems with footprints with that. There is plugins you can use to hide the WordPress files. Stephen Floyd told me the name of it. I think it's Hide WP is the name of the plugin. I personally don't use it and I haven't had problems, but if you want to be extra safe, check out, there's a plugin called Hide WP. The best, least expensive source to buy PBNs, probably Gregory Ortiz, Sarah. I have a question about anchor text over optimization. The client domain is a brand domain. I have created 35 to 40 citations, not all are indexed. Also, I did a press release for Pillowing, created some social accounts for the company, all branded links up until now. Now I've started building PBN links to the money site. If I use keyword anchors like Plumber, Iowa, Services, Best Plumber, Iowa, Affordable Plumber, Iowa, Iowa Plumber Quote, Plumber, Iowa Company, get a free quote for Plumber, Iowa, etc. Will trigger over optimization? What I mean is, will it be a problem if I use the main keyword plus variation for all of my PBN links, maybe around 25? I wouldn't do that, David. Work in stuff like plumber, like hire a plumber. Don't include location in every single anchor text you're doing. Do, domain name dash keyword, domain name dash category. Do stuff like that. Do your title. Mix in the title of the site. I wouldn't do that for every single variation where you're including the location. All right. What's the first step in knowing when you're getting negative SEO? Just checking on your links, Thomas, and if you have a whole bunch of new inbound links coming in that you didn't create, then that's going to tell you you're being negative SEO'd. I have seen you just send one link to a money site from a PBN article along with an authority link, but can we send one to the money site and one to a social property of the money site in the same article? Yeah, this is covered in the Iowa City SEO series. When adding an article to a PBN, is it better for the article to be about the original PBN site of the past and integrate our money link somewhere with it, or is it better to write the entire article about our money keyword? Again, this is covered, David, in the videos. Cover this in the FAQ webinar, and also in the SEO update section. I did a new video on PBN linking. A kind of a better way to do your PBNs, or a safer way, where you're theming them all around one topic, multiple articles on the same topic, and that's in SEO updates. I need the same guidance as to the steps prior to linking. Please advise on the videos I need to watch. Steps prior to linking. I'm not sure what you mean about the steps prior to linking. I mean, I don't know if you're talking about like setting up WordPress, on-page optimization. I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about there, Caesar. Ask this in the Facebook group and just be more specific about what you're looking for, and someone will get back to you there. All right, in Iowa OTS video 5, you link out to a couple of social properties within the PBN article, but you also have the money keyword Iowa City SEO mentioned a few times within the article. Do you always add the money keyword a few times randomly within the article without linking to it? I try to, David, just because it seems more natural to me. I mean, it just seems like you can get more credit from doing that, more power, more relevance. I bought some PBNs from NameJet and the registrar was Network Solutions. The who is perfect privacy. They won't allow transfer for 60 days. Do I have a problem on my hands if I use these PBNs, or should I wait the 60 days and transfer before using? I hate Network Solutions, so I would transfer if I were you. If you can't wait the 60 days, I would just stay away from them. I just had so many problems with them. My husband owns his own inspection company, and I built his site several years back on Weebly. Can I implement all of your local SEO training on that Weebly site, or would it be better to rebuild his site on WordPress? His site does show up on the first page for his main keyword already. Yeah, I would keep it on there definitely then, Melissa. You can implement what we're showing with that. Now, I don't know if you're talking about if it's like Weebly, like location.weebly.com, or if it's actually just hosted on Weebly. It's actually a personal domain. So I'm not sure exactly which one you're asking there, but if it's on the first page, I would leave it no matter what. Can you link to 2 different money sites on the same host with the same PBN? Two different money sites. Yeah, again, this is covered in the FAQ webinar, guys. I go into great detail on that. If you buy an expired domain for a PBN, is there a way to get it to reindex fast? I just put up a dummy post with a video. So, just a dummy post is something like, welcome back to sitename.com. We're currently rebuilding this site. We can't wait to bring you the newest and greatest information on blah, blah, blah. Like, I'll just do like a 100-word dummy post with a video, and I just let it sit. And it will index. Best tools to present web research to clients. Majestic SEO, Ahrefs, what other tools should be used? What tools in command control replace the above tools? What other tools from command control tools should be used? You can use everything in the command center for that, Sarah, and just go through the help files with them. They go through everything, or you can ask Cotton directly. I'm sorry, not Cotton, Colin. Because that's his tool. He knows it in and out, and he can tell you exactly what will benefit you from that. There's only a few tools that I really dive into in there, and I don't do client stuff that much, so I'm not sure with the client stuff what's in there. But I know there's a lot of good stuff in there for you. I have a new client that has quite a few spam links to his website. The site is not penalized yet, and he wants a new website anyway. He has business cards, etc. with the old domain on it. If I forward the old domain to the new URL, will this hurt the new site? Is there any way I can pass the power of the old site to the new site without hurting it? Yeah, there is, but it's pretty technical, Steve. And I can't really teach that just because it's just too much and it doesn't always work. It's something with subdomains and canonical, but it's not even worth doing. If the old site's not ranking anywhere, just drop it and just build a new site. That's what I would do. If you have 4 pages on your site with similar keywords, when building your broad page title and description in Yoast, can you use the same keyword for different pages in the title and description for Yoast? If you have 4 pages on your site, similar keywords. I mean, you can, but I probably wouldn't, James. I would need to see the situation to make a call on that, but most likely you're just going to confuse Google. They're not going to know which page to rank. I mean, if you're talking about the same keyword, there's not really any reason to do that. I'll just put it all on one page. I have 2 penalized PBNs. Do you use them for anything, or can you recommend a use for them? When I have penalized PBNs, guys, I let them go. Unless they're linking to a site that's still ranking, then I leave them up. So if PBNs get penalized or de-indexed or whatever happens, if the site they're linking to is still ranking fine, I will leave them up, okay? And I won't touch them. If the site they're linking to drops, then I get rid of them. When doing socials, do you just create a Facebook page, Web 2.0, etc., with a link to your money site? Yeah, I mean, yeah, for social properties, yes, James. I mean, basically. Twitter, Facebook, anything like that. Is there any other way to diversify your links to a new money site without using your PBNs? Yeah, I mean, you can do citations, you can do blog commenting, you can do press releases. I mean, you can do those. You can do social properties. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can do. Yes, Gregory Ortiz is the source, Sarah. Do you bother to silo your PBNs? Just what I showed in the SEO updates video, Walt. That's the extent to what I've been doing with them. Yes, I will be in NYC, Thomas, which is, what's that? I think October 3rd. Can you use expired domains for money sites? Yes, you can. Not necessarily something I teach anymore, just because, you know, if there's something, for like beginners, if there's something they don't see, they could be starting, you know, with a penalty right away. Just certain stuff like that where we don't necessarily teach it, but yeah, it can still work very well. What SEO backlinking checker tool do you recommend? For most people, I recommend the OMG Command Center because it has all these tools in there. It's much lower priced. There's going to be a very, very select couple people that they don't even need my recommendation, but they'll use the actual tools because they need quicker results. For like OMG Command Center, it's just a little slower processing the data, which for most people, it's well worth the difference in price. For someone like me, I need to work quick to get this data. So I actually have these. You know, I have the OMG Command Center, which I also use, but I also have Majestic, HRS, and Moz, all three. Because I use all three of them a lot, like every day, multiple hours a day. So for me, it's worth it to have these three on their own. But most people, the OMG Command Center by itself is totally fine for 99% of people. I bought a PBN the other day, set it up last night, and it's already indexed. Did the penalty check, etc. All looks good. When doing the penalty check, it shows up number 1, and then the old Facebook for the site shows up 2. I checked out the Facebook and see the last post they made there was 2011. As the Facebook page seems to still be up, will my new PBN still get credit by association look more natural by being associated with a Facebook page? Should I link to it from my PBN or just leave it? Facebook page isn't related to the new theme of my PBN. That doesn't matter. I mean, yes, it's going to benefit you, Steve. Should I link to it from my PBN? You could link to it from your PBN if you wanted. Like, if you're talking about kind of looking more natural, like this is our Facebook page, there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, I mean, anytime there's like something like that, I look at that as a benefit. You know, if somebody has a Facebook page or Twitter page. I had a site a while ago. It was a PR6, a really strong site when PR used to matter more, and they had an automated RSS feed set up from their Twitter account or something. What was it? They must have had it set up with like some type of service where the RSS feed would publish any new posts on the site to the social properties. And they had a Twitter account with like 100,000 followers. So every time I made a post on this site, it was actually being posted to the Twitter, which they no longer use, that had 100,000 followers. So I mean, anytime you have something like that where social property is still in place, it's a good thing. I mean, the situation I had with the RSS being in place is very rare. I've only had happened that once, but you know, anything like that can be a benefit. In the Iowa City SEO OTS series, in the last video, you added web design to the homepage title and in the homepage content to rank for that keyword. Why didn't you put that keyword in the web design page title instead to rank for that page for web design rather than the homepage? Because the homepage was already ranking decent for it, Susan. And we already have most of the links already gone to the homepage. It's not a huge keyword, so it doesn't necessarily need to be targeted on that inner page. Do you see there being any problems with using vCracker on the money site on a blog page? Any pros and cons of doing this? I don't really use vCracker, Jamie, too much anymore, so you would have to ask them about that, the proper practice for that. I just don't have the experience with it recently. So without the experience firsthand, I can't really give you advice on that. Will you be doing more affiliate site examples soon? I should be, James. Should be coming soon. What is the difference between PBN and age domains? How are they each used to optimize? I mean, kind of go hand in hand. I mean, age domain there can be different terminology for that, I guess. What you're asking, I think, is the difference between expired domain and auction domain, I think. Expired domain is actually a domain that didn't get picked up at auction. It loses its age, goes back into the regular domain pool, and then, you could re-register it for the regular registration price. Whereas an auction domain, which is kind of what some people refer to as an age domain, an auction domain, it doesn't lose its age because when you pick it up in the auction process, it keeps its age. And that's part of the reason why I like them. A small reason, but the bigger reason is because most of the good sites are at auction, because a lot of the good sites don't get through the auction process. Like, there will be some that slip through, but most of the good sites will get picked up in the auction, like the really good sites. So, I mean, that's the reason I like auctions, and that's what most people refer to as age domains, probably like auction, if you're referring to like PBN type stuff. So hopefully that clears that up. I found a powerful auction site with good metrics and a few powerful links, but most of the really good links go to a subdomain. If I bought the site and also recreated the subdomain and threw one the subdomain to the root, would that be what I should do, or recreate the sub and link directly to properties from the sub instead of the root domain? I mean, I usually just grab just like going to the home page. It's just because there's so many sites out there. There's no reason for me to mess with tricks, but technically speaking, I mean, yeah, you could just recreate that through that subdomain and link out from that if you wanted. Do you have any experience building PBN links to a URL that through one redirects to a web page you are trying to rank? For instance, could you simply build PBN links directly to a bit.ly address that points to the page you are trying to rank? Would this be just as effective as sending it to the money page directly? A little bit of experience. It seems like it does lose a little bit of power, Alex. Supposedly, what everyone says is that you lose 10% through a redirect. I don't know who came up with that, but that's like the going number. When I do it, it does seem like you lose a little bit. I don't know if it's 10% or not. I don't know where that came from, but basically it'll have the same effect, just probably a little less power, I would say. I don't mess with that a ton, though. What is your favorite keyword analyst tool and why? Covered in FAQ webinar. Well, again, that's August 19th with Cotton's assimilation webinars for anyone that hasn't seen it. But basically, I just use the Google keyword tool in my brain, and I show that in the FAQ webinar. I don't really use any keyword tools besides the Google keyword tool. I have a national keyword EMD and want to create an affiliate site that promotes the services of one company while providing good content on the subject. Can I use their business names and anchor text to link out to them? They have a high DA. Also, how can I use the main keywords plus, say, the top 100 cities so that they rank in each city? This is a service people might search for locally. I gotta read this one again. Just give me a minute. Yeah, you can definitely use their business name as an anchor text to link out to them. No doubt about that. How can I use the main keywords plus the top 100 cities that they rank in each city? I would need to see that example, Steven, to it's kind of hard to picture. This one's hard to picture without seeing it, so you can Facebook message me and kind of give me more details on that. My brain's having trouble wrapping around that without seeing an actual example. I have a site that OMG Command Center has flagged as being in 1 out of 14 blacklisting services, but it doesn't show which blacklist it is on. What can I do about getting off this blacklist? Is it something to worry about? I would ask Colin that, Walt. Go to the OMG Command Center support and ask. So I'm not sure what they're doing with the blacklisting services in there. I haven't had any experience with that. So I would ask Colin about that. That's his tool. Colin Klinkert. Is there less power in an expired domain? I'm sorry, is there less power in an expired PBN than an age or auction PBN? Yeah, we just kind of covered this, Melissa. Expired domains can be as powerful as auction domains, but a lot of times the more powerful sites are the auction PBNs because those are like that's the first step. Like the step is this is the step so you guys can understand. If someone owns a site, okay, right, they don't renew it for whatever reason, goes to auction. If it doesn't get picked up at auction, then it's expired. Okay, so a lot of the good domains get picked up here, right? Of course, there's good ones that fall through the cracks and will get picked up here, but the highest quality sites are right here. Because in order to get to an expired domain, someone has to not pick it up at auction. And unless people are just missing it, the best sites are being picked up right here. And that's where more power is. That's where the better metrics are. That's where the better everything is. And then the sites that kind of no one wants, so to speak, or no one buys at auction, well, they expire. They go back into the regular registration pool, and that's where you are right here. So this is kind of the last step. Whereas, the auctions are before that. Like, you get a chance to pick up these sites here, and then if no one wants them, they go here. So, typically, auction sites are more powerful. Of course, there's plenty of auction sites that suck, but what I'm saying is the chances of getting a more powerful site are at auction because that's the first step. So, it's not necessarily like, if you have the same domain, like, say you got domain 1, okay, and you pick up domain 1 here, whereas a case where you have the same exact domain here, there's not going to be really much of a difference with the same exact metrics, okay? Now, you're going to lose the age in this process, which I think now will do a little more for you than it used to do. So there may be a little difference because of that age thing, but typically the same domain here and here is not going to be much difference. The big difference is that the good ones get picked up here. That's the big difference between auction and expired. All right, so just want to make sure that's clear. Are you using spun content for anything? No. No, I'm not, Susan. You got it, Mark. I think my money site is over-optimized. Do you have any suggestion to dilute my main keyword? Should I do LSI post example? liveonthebay.com. That's it. I don't know what this example's for. I can give this to me, Mark. But what I would do is, like, if you're over-optimized for something, first start the under-optimization on the on page, okay? So if I have a site that someone sent me a site recently where they had a keyword like over 100 times on the home page out of like 2,000 keywords, and they also had it in like every single anchor text. So that's over optimized. You have a keyword in every single anchor text where you have like 25 links, and then you have it on the home page 100 times. That's way over optimized. So the first step what you can do is really under optimize the home page. Take that keyword out a ton of times on the home page. Change your title to an LSI version of that keyword. So for example, let's say I was over optimized for Nashville plumbers, right? And I had maybe Nashville plumbers way too much on the homepage. I would take it out on the homepage content a bunch of times. Let's say my title, because this is a pretty big optimization factor, especially now, was like Nashville plumbers, the best plumbers in Tennessee or something like that. I would change this, and then let's say my anchor text. So let's say we had this in the content a lot. And then also, we had this a lot in our anchor text. The first step you want to try to do, so you don't have to mess with the links, is dumb down the on page as much as you can, because that's the easy part. So let's say this is our title. What I would do is not have this keyword in the title. Okay, so I'd probably do something. I would change this to something like let's see. I'm just going to come up with something dumb just to give an example. I wouldn't use this title because it sucks, but I'm just making a point. Actually, let me do this. I mean, this title sucks, but my point is I don't have the keyword in here exactly. I have plumbers, then I have a couple words in between, then I have Nashville. So I kind of have like the opposite version, plumbers in Nashville, and there's a couple words in between. Again, this is off the cuff, so this title sucks. I wouldn't actually use this for a real site, but the point is you wouldn't want to put it like this. You would more want to try something that's really de-optimized, where you have like plumbers here, then like Nashville over here somewhere. You know what I mean? Hold on, let's actually come up with a decent title, because I don't want to go with this crappy title. This one isn't even that good either, but it's better than the other one. All right, so trusted plumbers serving the Nashville area. Again, you have Nashville plumbers in here, but you don't have it like this. Okay, so that's the first thing I'll do is change the title like that. If we had this, if we had this case where we had it too much in the content, too much in the anchor text, especially the anchor text part, I would change the title from this to this, so it's not in the title, and then I would take it out of the content a whole bunch of times. Okay, maybe even not use it at all in the content, where if you're using it too much in the anchor text, if you're using it that much, try not having it at all in the content. Just have like plumbers in Nashville maybe once or twice. All right, so start with stuff like that to de-optimize. It really depends on how over-optimized you are. You might need to expand your anchor text and get more generic anchor text stuff in there. But the easiest thing to do is to start with the on page and give it like a month or two and see how it reacts, and then you can go to start changing the links. Not changing links, but adding more generic type stuff. Favorite auction site? I like Namejet. It's my favorite. One of my clients wants to rank in multiple areas and cities in the UK. They are an IT support company. To rank them in the different areas, it is best to have the areas and cities on the page in the footer, then use generic anchor text when linking to them in their niche, such as IT support services, or is it better to have location and anchor text IT support London? Thanks. Is there anything else in particular that we should do when wanting to rank a site in several areas and cities? It depends how many areas and cities they want to do, Steve, but sometimes when I have a site that's on the same topic, I'll send links to the home page based on that topic, and then optimize the inner pages. So, for example, if you have a site that's about plumbers, right? So you got plumbers.com. Let's just say whatever, Greg's plumbing directory. And then you have a whole bunch of cities you're targeting or states or whatever, let's say hundreds of cities. What I'm going to first do is send links to the home page based on plumbers, so plumbing related keywords, because that's going to theme the whole site for plumbing related stuff. All right, so I might send plumbers to the home page, or find a plumber, this plumbing company, just stuff like that based around plumbing services. Because again, that's going to help theme the whole site for that. That's going to help make inner pages more relevant. So that's probably the first thing I'll do on a really large site targeting a lot of areas. And then for the areas I really want to target, I would send specific keyword anchor text for that area. So, if you're going after, IT support London, I probably would send IT support London as first keyword anchor text to that page, see how it responds, and take it from there. If that particular area is going to need more links, I wouldn't keep that trend up. I would just maybe do IT support by itself. I wouldn't do location every time, but yeah, I would start with the home page, just the general topic, help theme that site for all those inner pages, because that's really going to help you on those for relevance for those inner pages. And then you can send the actual keyword specific stuff to the home pages or to the inner pages that need it. So it really depends on how big the site is. So when you use juicy domains, are you picking them from auction or expired? I think they have both, Kyle. I haven't used it in a few weeks, so I forget. But you can ask them that question. Would you be able to check out this site and tell me if it's still on page 0 optimized? Yeah, that's the last thing that I will do. And John said, plumbers you can trust in Nashville. Yeah, that would fit my example, John. Let me make sure there's no more questions, and I'll get to that last analyzation, and we'll be good to go. Yeah, juicy domains are mostly scraped, Ryan said, which, yeah, I think he is right. So let's see here. Joanne says, thanks, your over-optimization helped sent the site I was working on from page 4 to page 1 in 48 hours. Awesome, Joanne. That's great. I'm interested, Joanne, what did you change? What did I tell you to change? Was it titles, just the on, keywords on the on page, or both? I forget what example that was, but that's awesome, Joanne. So let me go check out his site, and then we'll get rolling. San Diego Tint.net. Wow, I cannot spell today. Let's see. Well, you only have San Diego on the page 3 times, which I think is fine. You got a partial EMD. Remember, optimization also has to do with what your anchor text is. So you got 16 referring domains. No, you should be fine for your on page. Let's see. You're definitely not over optimized. If anything, you might even be under optimized, which is way better than starting over optimized. You can always build your way up. And you can also look, I don't know what the exact keyword you're trying to rank for. I'm guessing like San Diego winter tinting. You can also go to some of the top sites. Don't go to the Yelp, but go to like these personal companies to see how much they have it. But remember that it does matter what their anchor text is. So you're not going to use the exact same as what they use, but it'll give you a general idea. Let's see. So they got San Diego 10 times on their page. You'd want to see how much more content they have. So their anchor text is actually very similar to yours. So you could kind of go off, their ratio, what they're using for San Diego. It doesn't look like they have San Diego window tinting at all. So you could actually optimize your site very similar to what they're doing. They're ranked they're the first big site ranking. They're the first like personal business ranking. So you could optimize your site a lot, very similar to what they're doing. I think for yours, you just have San Diego tint / homepage, whereas they have San Diego tint / San Diego window tinting. They actually have this in their title, which I think this is what I searched for. So that's probably what's really helping them. Because their optimization with their anchor text is totally fine. It's totally fine having that in their title, because I don't think they have this on their page, or they have an LSI of it, or in their anchor text. So they have plenty of room for optimization for that keyword. All right, so yeah, I mean, I think your optimization is fine, but you can probably ramp it up a little bit. I don't know what else you've done for the site or where you're ranking, but you can kind of base your optimization off what that site's doing and kind of look further into the niche, what other sites are doing, kind of base it off that. But I would say you could probably turn it up a little. All right, guys, so that is the end of this one. My next webinar will be next Monday, as always, 1 o'clock. And I will get this recording over to David tonight or tomorrow, probably. And then I will see you guys all next week on next week's webinar. All right, guys, talk to you soon.